Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtiki Om Jnana Atimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shashanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Eva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 14, Text 51. Maitriya Vacha Shrutva Bhagavatam Pautram Amodata Ditir Prasham Putrayoscha Vadam Krishna Vidit Vasin Mahamanaha. The sage Maitreya said, hearing that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her sons would be killed by Krishna, Diti was highly pleased in mind. Before her sons are born, she's already hearing that they're going to be dead. But she's happy that they'll be killed by Krishna. This is the firm faith. This is the faith we need to cultivate in Krishna. That Krishna is my best friend. No matter what he does for me, it's the best for me. Here, her sons are going to be killed. Imagine, just imagine, somebody tells us your children are going to be killed. And how would we feel towards that person? We would be like, how dare you? I'm going to take revenge. All sorts of different people, we would go through such different emotions, And here, Diti is, okay, great devotee, we can understand that she'll be very pleased, but that her sons would be killed. That her sons would be killed, she is pleased because her sons are killed by Krishna. Because she knows that whatever Krishna does is the best for us. So we should try to imbibe that mood. Oh, why? How come Krishna is going to kill and that's a good thing? How can we? But because Krishna is giving them liberation. They're demoniac. Otherwise, their destination would be to suffer in the hellish planets because of their activities. But here, just because they'll be killed by Krishna, they're going to get liberation. Go sit in the Brahma Jyoti, which the transcendentalists they take millions of years to reach there. And here, just in one moment. Diti was very aggrieved to learn that because of her untimely pregnancy, her sons would be demons and would fight with the Lord. But when she heard that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her two sons would be killed by the Lord, she was very satisfied. As the wife of a great sage and the daughter of a great Prajapati, Daksh, she knew that being killed by the personality of Godhead is a great fortune. Since the Lord is absolute, his acts of violence and non-violence are both on the absolute platform. There is no difference in such acts of the Lord. Mundane violence and non-violence have nothing to do with the Lord's acts. A demon killed by him attains the same result as one who attains liberation after many, many births of penance and austerity. The word Brisham is significant herein because it indicates that Diti was pleased beyond her expectations. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 14th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Pregnancy of Diti in the Evening. She was pleased beyond her expectations because she was like, oh my God, my children are going to be so demoniac and they're going to be such a...
We can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
We can hear you. Sorry, we can hear you, Sneha. Shilpa ji, I can hear you properly.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Sneha, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So she was like, oh, my children are going to be demoniac. No, none of us want our children to be demons. We would be so sad. But now she heard they're going to be demons. But she's greatly satisfied that they're going to be killed by Krishna. And then it said that Krishna, he's on the absolute platform. So we put Krishna in our mind, like, our material limitation. We think, oh, if I kill somebody, or if anyone kills in this material world, it's a very bad thing. It will be called murder, right? And so we try to put that on Krishna too, thinking that he's the same like us. But he's not. He's absolute. He's on the absolute platform. He's the Supreme Lord. So whatever he does, whether he kills or he supports, it's the same for him, because he's God. So that's the meaning of the absolute platform. He wishes all good, all auspiciousness for everyone. He loves everyone. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any comments, any realizations to share?
So what they're trying to say here is that even if Krishna kills, that is also in itself is a kind of a boon.
Yeah.
Right? Because
yes.
For that you have to be a very, very, like, what's the exact word I'm forgetting? Like, so it's kind of a boon for you, either if he is favorable to you or unfavorable to you. Is it?
Yes. If not, he is favorable to you or unfavorable to you, whether you are favorable to him or unfavorable.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Krishna is favorable to everyone.
Everyone, yes.
Yeah.
Like when you are behaving as a good person or as a demon person, like if you're trying to hurt or no.
Well, we have to understand, of course, by looking at this example, we should not say, oh, so let me become a demon and let me be killed by Krishna,
Mm-hmm.
We
should not. I was thinking the same too.
Because many people might say, okay, fine, I'll become a demon.
Yeah, get killed.
And then it's so easy. I get
same, yeah.
So, but then what happens is that Krishna does not kill all the demons.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be a very special personality. So these demons are actually very, very special personalities to be killed by Krishna also. Not ordinary person will be killed by Krishna.
So this is also his Leela, right?
Yeah, this is also his Leela. Because we are going to hear, right, why this Jaya Vijaya, the Jaya Vijaya thing, we are going to hear. I think it's in this canto also. I think it's in
canto.
So we're going to happen. And then what happens? So what is pure devotional service? So, okay, now we say always think of Krishna, right? Always think of Krishna. So then the example is given. Kans was always thinking of Krishna. Is that devotional service?
No.
But he's always thinking of Krishna.
But he was not thinking in a favorable way.
That's the word. Yes, that's the word, not favorable. So devotional service has to be favorable. It has to be as it is taught to us by the previous acharyas, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. And it has to be without any desire, without any material desire, without desire for liberation, without desire for mystic yoga. That is the definition of pure devotional service. Of course, we are also, we are engaging in devotional service. We are engaging. hearing and chanting. You know, we are each at our level of devotional service. So try to please, we are all trying to please Krishna in our own way. But yeah, we should not misuse this and say, I'm going to become Hiranyaksha, and then Krishna can kill me. We are not so special. Then Krishna is going to come specially to kill us, you know.
So Kansa also was liberated, right? By Krishna.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and then just see what happens. See, these demons who are killed by Krishna, they get the Sayujya Mukti. What is the Sayujya Mukti? That they go in the divine light, right? Then they sit down and they are sitting in the Brahma Jyoti. So they don't really get Krishna's personal association. They cannot enter the spiritual world. So they'll be sitting in this light for maybe millions of years, trillions of years, but one day or the other, then they'll come back to the material platform. You know, but what happens to the devotees? What happens to the devotees? Krishna, we heard in Caitanya Caritamrta, pure devotee, Krishna is selling himself to the pure devotee. Then you can have a loving relationship with Krishna, and that is our original position. Here in the material world, we have so many relationships. So what the Mayavadis say, oh, because of relationships, I'm feeling sad. So relationships are all false. No, it's not that relationships are all false. In the spiritual world, we have relationships, but that's on the eternal platform. And our main relationship is with Krishna. Eternal loving relationship. So a devotee gets that. He gets a personal relationship. He gets to be situated in his original, transcendental loving relationship with Krishna. So the idea to show is that Krishna is so merciful, so compassionate, that just imagine, to a demon, he's giving impersonal liberation. So how sweeter would be the relationship he's in with the devotee? You know, the loving exchange, how wonderful it would be. That's something we have to think of.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So
Thank
we are
you.
finished the chapter 14. Now we are on chapter 15, description of the kingdom of God. Okay. Oh yeah, now it's going to come, no? The story would come, I think. Maitriya vacha prajapatyam tu tatteja paratejo hanam ditihi dadhara varshani shatam shankam mana surardanath. Sri Maitreya said, my dear Vidur, Diti, the wife of the sage Kashyap, could understand that the sons within her womb would be a cause of disturbance to the demigods. As such, she continuously bore the powerful semen of Kashyap Muni, which was meant to give trouble to others for 100 years. The great sage Maitreya was explaining to Vidur the activities of the demigods, including Lord Brahma. When Diti heard from her husband that the sons she bore within her abdomen would be causes of disturbances to the demigods, she was not very happy. There are two classes of men, devotees and non-devotees. Non-devotees are called demons and devotees are called demigods. No sane man or woman can tolerate the non-devotees giving trouble to devotees. Diti, therefore, was reluctant to give birth to her babies. She waited for 100 years so that at least she could save the demigods from the disturbance for that period. So she was also sad, of course. We don't want our children to turn out bad, right? We want to have good children. So she's trying to hold on to the children in her womb for 100 years. Okay. Loke tena hatalo ke loka pala hato jasaha Nyavedayan Vishwasrije Dvanta Vyatikaram Disham. By the force of the pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and moon was impaired in all the planets, and the demigods of various planets, being disturbed by that force, asked the creator of the universe, Brahma, what is the expansion of darkness in all directions? It appears from this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that the sun is the source of light for all the planets in the universe. So in our school, we learned, at least that's what I remember, that the sun just gives light to our solar system. But Bhagavatam is teaching us that sun is giving light to all the planets within the universe, all the planets. The modern scientific theory, which states that there are many suns in each universe, is not supported by this verse. It is understood then that in each universe, there is only one sun which supplies light to all the planets. In Bhagavad Gita, the moon is also stated to be one of the stars. There are many stars, and when we see them glittering at night, we can understand that they are reflectors of light, just as moonlight is a reflection of sunlight. Other planets also reflect sunlight, and there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. The demoniac influence of the suns in the womb of Diti expanded darkness throughout the universe. So there is the moon. The moon is also called a star because it does not have its own light, but it's reflecting the light of the sun, like the other stars are doing. Okay. So anyway, it became all dark there, the omen, because bad things are going to happen. So the omens are already there. There's darkness everywhere. Now we don't even understand, oh, there is a bad omen. Why? Because this is Kali Yuga. We are filled with bad omens. So what to think, what to say, But before times, like how we hear Yudhishthir Maharaj, there's such a detailed description. When Krishna just left the world or was going to leave the world, he saw so much, so many bad omens. His left eye was flickering, legs were trembling, untimely seasonal changes, and then dogs are barking at him. I was like, oh my God, this sounds so normal nowadays. We see that every day. But for that time, he was like, oh, these are bad omens. What happened? Did Krishna leave the planet? So anyway, at least we have we are grateful for the holy name. That's what is our shelter in this Kali Yuga. Deva Ucca Tama Etad Vibhovetha Samvigna Yad Vayam Vrisham Nahi Avyaktam Bhagavataha Kalena Sprashta Vartamanaha. The fortunate demigod said, O great one, just see this darkness which you know very well and which is causing us anxieties. Because the influence of time cannot touch you, there is nothing unmanifest before you. Brahma is addressed herein as Vibhu, as the personality of Godhead. He is the supreme personality of Godhead's incarnation in the mode of passion in the material world. He is non-different in the representative sense from the supreme personality of Godhead, and therefore the influence of time cannot affect him. The influence of time, which manifests as past, present, and future, cannot touch higher personalities like Brahma and other demigods. Sometimes demigods and great sages who have attained such perfection are called Trikalagya. So why is Brahmaji called Vibhu? Because he is the Guna avatar. Krishna has so many avatars, 6 types of avatars. 6 types. Does anybody remember what are the 6 types of avatar?
I remember a few like Purush Avatar,
Yes.
Gun Avatar, Leela
Good.
Avatar.
Yes.
Then Purush, Gun, Leela.
Yuga Avatar.
Yuga Avatar. Yeah.
Then there is Shakti Avesh Avatar.
Shakti Avesh Avatar. Yes, right.
And Leela Avatar, you already said. Oh, I'm forgetting one myself. Manvantara Avatar. Right?
Manvantara Avatar, yeah. That's a millennium, but that's the Yuga or Manvantara are different.
Yuga Avatar is the one that he comes to re-establish the religion principle in
yeah.
Yuga.
Yeah. So
So
Manvantara.
here, so Guna Avatar. Guna Avatar, there are three gunas: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And so Guna Avatar, passion is Lord Brahma, ignorance is Lord Shiva, and goodness is Lord Vishnu. So that's why many times they just call them as, I'm sorry?
Sattva is Vishnu.
So, yeah, Vishnu. Goodness is Lord Vishnu, yes. Yeah. So that's the reason he's addressed here as Vibhu, as personality of Godhead, because he's an incarnation of Krishna, as the controller of mode of passion. He is a living entity, but he's a representative of Krishna in the mode of passion. Yesterday we heard a very interesting thing. Like Brahma is a post. Indra, Chandra, Surya, they are all posts, right? Demigods is a post, all the demigods. So if we want, by our endeavor, by our qualifications, we can try to become so good that we can get chosen by Krishna to occupy the post. So it may be there like we go to apply in a job interview. There are so many thousands of people who are qualified. But then the company, the CEO will say, I want to employ this person for this post because it's such an important post. So there'll be thousands of people who are qualified, for example, to occupy the post of Indra. But then Krishna will personally choose, no, this person is qualified to do this job. So how much respect we should give to the demigods, We need to respect them so much because they're personally chosen by Krishna. We don't worship them. We don't worship them separately. So because, then another point. So they occupy the post. So we think, so being God is also a post. I'll also become God one day and I'll remove Krishna from his post. You know that? We are thinking, I can become Brahma, I can become Shiva also, the Rudra incarnation. I can become Indra, Chandra, so I can become Krishna also. But Krishna is not a post. To be God is not a post. Nobody can apply for that post. Nobody can sit on that. Only Krishna. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. And then, then again, our teacher was saying that he was speaking to one person, and that person told him, there are 33 crore demigods, and every day I do puja to 3 demigods, like that in my lifetime. So then the devotee said, this is Atul Krishna Prabhu. He's one of our teachers of Bhakti Weber. So he's like, you do demigod, you worship 3 demigods only every day. So in one lifetime, how many demigods will you be able to worship? There are 33 crore demigods. I worship all 33 crore demigods every day. The man was bewildered. What? How do you do that? He said, I worship Krishna. So when I'm worshiping Krishna, automatically all 33 crore demigods I'm worshiping. I do not need to separately worship any demigod. I found that very interesting. So so just wanted to share. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. This is right.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you worship Krishna, so that means you're worshiping.
All 33. Yeah, all 33 crore demigods we are worshipping every day because we are worshipping Krishna.
I still remember, like as you mentioned, I still remember until few years back, I used to do one Ganesh Aarti. Then on Monday, I used to do Shiv Aarti with the Om Jai Jagadish. Then on the Wednesday, I used to do Ganesh Aarti with Om Jai Jagadish Hare. And then the other days, I used to do the Om Jai Jagadish Hare. But since I have come like since I have read more of Bhagavatam, I've got to know that they both are also the devotees, and they would love it if we serve Krishna. And definitely I say thanks to them, that I always add them in my prayer, all the demigods, because they are also very powerful, in the sense that I just thank them, that thank you for, please give me the bhakti of your beloved Krishna.
Nice. Very good. Yes.
Because they both have been a very, very powerful part of the lives of children and people, even in India yet. Shiva and Ganesha. Because you're taught कि विघ्न हरता वो है और वो सब देने वाले वो हैं. And we have been greedy people without knowing. जब भी कुछ चाहिए तो शिव जी के दूध चढ़ाएंगे तो मिल ही जाएगा.
Yeah, so true. But yeah, I'm happy that you're able, like, now that we are able to understand. Even I used to do that. Because in India, there's like a hodgepodge, right?
Yes, yeah. Because people don't know. Actually, they're not being taught. It's not their mistake. I think they're not. Like, even now, my father-in-law is a big, big bhakt of Shivji. So whenever we go, then he keeps वो जल अभिषेक रखते हैं कि आप जल चढ़ाएंगे उनके ऊपर, शिव जी के ऊपर, और पंडित. तो then we cannot hurt them. I never hurt them, but I always, whenever we are doing that jal abhishek, I always chant Hare Krishna. अभी 3 साल से तो गए नहीं है, उससे पिछले साल हरे कृष्णा चैंट किया था जब समझ में आया था. सो दैट आई ऑलवेज से कि वो भी खुश होंगे शायद कि हम कृष्णा को याद करते हुए उन पे कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमें सबको रिस्पेक्ट देना है, हम डिसरिस्पेक्ट नहीं कर सकते. आई रिमेम्बर स्नेहा जी मेंशन दिस वन टाइम इन द क्लास कि हम बड़े लोगों को डिसरिस्पेक्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं, और हमें उनको तो, एंड आई थिंक शिल्पा जी सेड द सेम थिंग कि हमें किसी को डिसरिस्पेक्ट नहीं करना है.
किसी को भी, not even an ant.
Yeah, not even.
We're not even supposed to disrespect even an ant.
Yeah, we cannot
these are
displease.
after all powerful demigods. What are we talking? They're very qualified personalities, very qualified. So we respect them, but we don't worship them. उनकी हम पूजा नहीं करते. उनसे अगर of course pray कर सकते हैं कि please make me a devotee, as you just said, Neha. Yes, please make me a devotee. You're such a nice devotee. Give me bhakti. Give me faith in Krishna. You have so much faith in Krishna. Please give me that faith. So
the same thing that I do every day. I chant Hanuman Chalisa, but it's my prayer that you are a pure devotee of Ram. So can you give me the same bhakti? Like I wish. Get closer to Krishna.
Closer to Krishna. Yeah. That's what we have to do. Just get closer to Krishna. Use anything, everything to get close to Krishna. That's all. And then they are also happy in that way. So, reading on. And why time cannot affect? Let's hear one moment. Sorry. Why he's Trikala Gya, influence of time. He's not under the influence of time. Actually, Brahmaji, he just dies, He's there and then he just dies at his 100 years. It's not that we see how we are born, then we grow up, then we reproduce, then we dwindle, we become old and diseases and die. So it's not like that from Brahmaji. It's a great personality, but he also has to die. So even if we become Brahma, even if we live for a very long time, we're also going to die. And if Brahmaji is a pure devotee, then when he dies, he goes to the spiritual world. He goes to the spiritual world if he's a pure devotee. And then at that moment, the other inhabitants on Satyalok or Brahmalok, the planet which he lives in, they also go with him to the spiritual world. Anyway, that we'll read later. It comes later in Srimad Bhagavatam.
So when another Brahma comes, so that means it's the same way like how Brahma comes from the Nabi, the navel, the same process. Okay, on the lotus flower. Lotus. Okay.
Yeah. Because when he dies, then means Lord Vishnu is breathing in. All of us are going to be living inside his body, everyone sleeping for a long time. That's how he dies, Brahma. And then again, when he breathes out, then again, the whole creation is happening.
Okay.
So that means that Trikal you just explained, that is that when there is no influence of time on that person, right?
Yeah, that he knows past, present, and future.
Okay.
So Brahmaji, because he is there from the beginning of the universe, so he knows what's happening right now and what's going to happen also. Because you remember we heard the prayers of Brahmaji in the beginning, even before Krishna, like he was telling Krishna that you're going to come as Krishna himself, you're going to take this Vaman avatar, you're going to come as Krishna we'll see you kill Putana, lift Govardhan, all this is long before Krishna has come. So Brahmaji can see all this. So highly qualified. And what are such highly qualified personalities doing? What is such a highly qualified person saying? Govindam Adipurusham Tam Aham Bhajami. That's what Lord Brahma is saying.
Right, in every office, no?
Yes. Govindam Adipurusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Brahma is praying to Lord Krishna. You are my seed-giving father. Lord Shiva, such a powerful personality. What is he doing? All the time meditating on Krishna. Shankarshan is his Ishtadev. He's always meditating on Krishna. How can I please you, my dear Krishna? What is Ganeshji doing? Ganesh, he is a pure devotee of Krishna. When Vyasadev told Ganesh, Ganesh helped him write the Mahabharata, right? Vyasadev was speaking and Ganesh was writing. So Vyasadev told him, don't write anything you don't understand. Ganesh said, fine. So he started speaking Mahabharata. Ganesh started writing. Then came to the point of Bhagavad Gita. He kept on continuously writing. So Ganeshji understands the Bhagavad Gita in truth. So he's a pure devotee of Krishna. Anyone who understands and follows Bhagavad Gita is a pure devotee, right? So Ganeshji also pure devotee. And in Brahma Samhita, as Neha just pointed out, Vigna Vinash, Ganeshji, his Vigna Vinash, that's right. Very true. And in Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji says that Ganeshji on his tumuli, on his task, he has that elephant head, right? On his task, he's keeping Krishna on there. There's one of the verses in Brahma Samhita. If you'll read through it, you can hear it. He's giving in Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji speaking the position of all the various demigods and how they are devoted to Krishna. So this is
on the task.
Ganeshji has that task, right?
Yes, right.
He's keeping Krishna there. He's worshipping Krishna, the lotus feet of Krishna on there.
On the task.
And where does Ganeshji get his power of being Vigna Vinash?
From Krishna.
Yeah, specifically Lord Nrsimhadev.
Okay.
Yeah, Lord Nrsimhadev. So that's the reason devotees pray to Lord Nrsimhadev, Vigna Vinash. He's called Vigna Vinash Nrsimha because he removes all the obstacles, specifically all the obstacles in the path of devotion of a devotee.
Okay.
Because there's so many obstacles in our path.
Right.
And my realization is the obstacle which is the obstacles which are on our path is basically our desire to be away from Krishna. That's what my small realization as to now. That is only our anarthas because of our desires to be away from Krishna. But Lord Nrsimhadev helps us remove those. And the devotees also for their protection, for their, we have so many. Oh, Lord Nrsimhadev, my son is not well. What do I do? Please help him. Lord Nrsimhadev, my parents have COVID. Please help them. Devotees always praying to Lord Nrsimhadev for protection, for anything they want, basically. Yeah. I don't know if you all have heard or read or heard about the pastimes of Lord Nishingadev of Mayapur. There's a small booklet which has all these things, all the pastimes of how Lord Nishingadev fulfills the desires of devotees also and non-devotees also. I'm not sure if you'll have read it.
I have.
I
think, yeah, when Prabhuji came from Mayapur, he gave me.
Yeah, the Mayapur devotees always bring that.
Yeah.
You know, I think I have one book also. So if
I think I also have one. I'll look it up. Yeah.
So it's amazing, you know, how Lord Nishingadev is just protecting. Anyway, we'll stop here for today. Sorry we went over time. So, thank you so much for joining in. Anyone had anything to share more or comment?
No.
Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh, I forgot.